Ross was one of those blokes that exemplifies why you play team sports and the great thing about team sports. He was the face of the club, very much a wanderer, very much a cricketer, very much a great person.
Remember first meeting him was at a Prezzo night, the first year he come down, because I didn't really know him then, and I got talking to him, but all I can remember was his laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty distinctive laugh, yes.
You know, he was good with kids, he was good with the ladies, he was, just made sure everybody was okay.
I wasn't fortunate enough to play a lot with Rossi over the journey, but a couple of things I would like to point out, that obviously Rossi was a great clubman, and I mean that's obviously no news to anybody who's hearing this.
My probably best memory of him was just being a clubman.
Yeah.
And also when the guy started having kids, he was king of the kids down there. The kids loved him and he loved them.
Yeah, they all knew him. Yeah, every time he'd come down to the club rooms, I reckon there wouldn't be too many blokes that would know basically not only every player, but their partners and their kids by name, and all the kids would run up to him. They knew him. You know, my kids are the same. They all knew him and loved him and that. Yeah, he was that sort of a guy. Yeah.
When I used to open the bowling, my first ball of a game was never the quickest. And I remember after I bowled it, there usually was a chorus of laughter, usually coming from the slip started from him.
We could hear the bone snapping as you bowled.
And I remember one game, actually you might remember this, actually the first ball, I bowled it and it was that slow. The guy took 2 swipes at it, missed them both and I bowled him.
And got bowled in. I do remember that.
And so Roscoe, instead of coming, he came up pissing himself laughing.
We nicknamed him the chef, and he wasn't too rapt about that. But that all came about because we said most of the balls that he delivered were pies. But he laughed about it. We even thought there one stage getting him a pale blue chef's hat when he was going to ask for his cap to be put on.
When he first came on the bowl, we used to say his mouth used to get sunburned all the time when he used to come on the bowl.
Yeah. There was a few times that we actually declared the ground a no-fly zone when he'd bowl.
First couple of balls, Roscoe's put up there, this bloke's taken 2 great swings. Hit him for 4. Third ball he's came up, Roscoe's got him out. And give him a send-off, which wasn't unusual for Roscoe, give every bloke a send-off. And one of the blokes, the captain to the other side, came over and he was umpiring at the time. And I think it went very much like, take it easy mate, he's got Parkinson's disease. Which Roscoe was quickly to come back and says, mate, it doesn't say that in the scoreboard. Yeah,
of course he'd come on when it was like a 12 or 13 year old come on, but once he'd clean bowled him and everything, he'd come up to you afterwards and say, well, it doesn't say that 13 in the book, does it?
Yeah. We used to call him, we used to call everyone Sponge.
Yeah.
But I remember one game we were playing, he came on the bowl and he yelled out the bowler's name, and this bloke he yells out S Orbit.
And they were actually starting to write it down in the book until I told them.
We're in the old rooms obviously at the club, and it was jam-packed. It was after a Saturday, and he got back for the match reports, you know, as we did every week then and as we sort of sometimes do now. And they did the third 11 match report, and the whole and Rossi made a 50 that day, and when whoever was the captain announced that, the whole rooms, there was this uproar of laughter and cheers and heckling. And I remember thinking to myself, for Christ's sake, he's only made a 50. I mean, this must happen every week. People make 50, people make hundreds, you know. I mean, well, why is this such a big deal that this guy's made a 50? And then obviously later on, as I grew up and I played a bit more with Rossi and I watched him bat, I realised that probably that wasn't going to happen too many more times.
But with his batting, the funniest thing, I wasn't too funny at the time, but I was batting and they set a deep point for me. So he's bowled this short ball outside your stump, so I've hit it straight to deep point, easy single, and I've just yelled, yeah. And I'm trotting down, and I looked up and there's Roscoe. And I thought, oh shit, I'm in trouble there, because he wasn't the quickest runner going around, and he was run out by half the pitch. And it was the only time I ever saw him get mad. He didn't talk to me for the rest of the afternoon.
That wouldn't have been the day you got a diamond duck, was it?
Didn't face the ball, yeah.
He's renowned for being a quite thirsty man after a game of cricket, and and for having solidly the best knowledge of every bottle shop in the city of Moorabbin cricket area known to man.
After every away game, after every day's play, he had the Melways. He knew where every bottle shop was, no matter where we were. You just go turn there, and there.
And you can guarantee that within 2 minutes of leaving any away ground, you'd have a cold one in your hand if you're in the same vehicle as Rossi. And that's an admirable quality.
We stopped at the bottle shop, he'd get the cans out. As I said, he'd had the first one knocked over before he was giving you one out.
Very good that way. For a bloke that didn't drive anywhere, he knew all the streets.
How far away was how many cans you had? I know that we used to, a couple of times we played up at Caulfield Park. That was at least 6 cans to come back from there, and as you all know, it wouldn't be too far.
The temperature of the beer probably not being to Rossi's liking, and I think, look, he figured in his old one that a man slaved his guts out all day in 40-degree heat. He's had 6 quick ones on his way back to the club, and when he gets there, he expects to be able to enjoy a nice cold one. And sometimes we couldn't always give him that. And there was a period there it was at least 12 months, if not 18 months, where every week I was just copping it left, right, and centre from him, and he had his accomplices too, who shall remain nameless up until now. Geez, it got to the stage where I just had to put a separate esky of beer on ice just for these boys, so that I knew when they got back they'd get a cold one, because I fearing them couldn't take any more heckling. As far as they were concerned, and Rossi was leader in this pack, make no mistake about that us selling food and drinks all day over the canteen so that the other players can have a Gatorade or a water or afternoon tea for that matter was apparently unacceptable, because opening the fridge was impacting on them being able to get a cold one when they came back.
I was sitting on the bench with him down at the club. It was a fancy dress night, and we sat there having a drink. He was telling me about, the boys forget about me, all that sort of thing. He goes, here I am, a stalwart of the club. No one remembers me. And so I told him to get over it. Big sook he was. So we sat there cheering on the boys to the bench. Half cut by the time Chucky came back. He sat on the bench there with us.
We were a good team for stitching up your old man Greg, because every time we'd sort of have a beer with him, he always he had to go home and do something. So we only have a couple of beers, mate. Only have a couple of beers, and the next thing you know, after a couple of hours, we'd be getting phone calls from Ange saying, "Oh, where is he? Oh, he's all right. He's only had 1 or 2." So
yeah, I rang up Greg to see what was happening, and Greg was sitting he said he was drinking with Roscoe and Chucky. They're on that seat near the club rooms.
Roscoe got on the phone speaking to my wife to say, look, don't worry about him. I'm here with the chairman of selectors. And he was laughing his head off with me to be the chairman of selectors and how he'd look after me.
And he was actually laughing. He goes, we're drinking with the chairman of selectors, and he's, that chuckle that he does. And I said, he goes, don't worry, Ange. He goes, I'll look after Greg for you. I go, oh, thanks,
I can't remember getting home. I almost got run over by my son and that walking across Punt Road.
But little did we know that was the last time Greg actually saw Ross, and it was the last time that I spoke to him.
Yeah, last year that was fantastic. I mean, like it took. I was similar to him. It took a lot of years to get the first premiership, but when you get a premiership with a guy that's sort of waited that long, and he knew he really wanted one, and he'd been basically their side should have won it the year I won the first one. For him to get up and get a premiership last year, that was just that's fantastic. There's nothing better to see the smile on his face, and like I remember he was sitting next to me actually on when I think it was Bickies that hit the winning runs, and I looked at him and he was the tears were coming out of his eyes, and I thought that's what it's all about, that was fantastic.
I think we need to celebrate Rossi's time at the club and Rossi's life, and I certainly think I honestly believe that's what he'll want us to do, and I think that's what we should do.
You have a lot of friends in your lifetime, and then there's other guys you call real mates, and he was one of them. And it's as simple as that. You could rely on him, and he was there for you. If you needed advice and that, Rossi was the bloke to go to.
someone I personally will sadly miss. But I'll always know that it'll be in my ear, giving me cheek one way or another, whether playing cricket or just in general life.
Okay. Alright, here we go. We've got Ross Satchwell, a stalwart at the club, a champion at the club, someone that most of the blokes look up to and love and admire.
Exactly.
Rossi, what does it mean to you on grand final day when a Wanderer's side?
A Wanderer's side he's playing?
Yeah. What does it mean to you?
A great deal to me.
How are
a great
you?
deal to me. It's a pity I'm not playing in it.
Good.
I
All the
still
same
love
though,
club.
all the same.
I love the club. I give the club my heart.
There's never been any question of that, but is there a bittersweet sensation when you watch the perhaps
You're
the fourth
getting
level
married,
take
I
the
know.
I'd rather be playing there myself.
You're getting married in July.
But the next best thing is watching one of
In
our
July?
sides playing a grand final.
It's a good feeling.
Are you
Isn't it?
happy?
It's a great feeling.
And
all
Rossi,
I can say is,
Sorry?
I hope the best for them. I hope they win.
I'm at the
I hate to bring it up because this is. I might even take this seat here. Because it is a bittersweet revelation, but yet again your side has been bowled out when you've had a really good chance of winning a premiership.
There must be something wrong in the thirds.
You've had a lot of bad luck playing finals in the cricket, but what happened this year? Why aren't you playing in the grand final today?
We got our ass whopped. We got whopped.
But why do you think you've had such a heartbreaking story at the Wanderers?
If I could put a finger to it, I'd know, but I just don't know. Maybe it's me playing in the thirds. I might have to go to the fourth and put the jinx in the fourth and thirds to win.
But obviously the boys gave their heart out when they played, didn't they?
Oh, they did. They did. When you're only defending 64, you've got to give a bit of heart for the club, don't you?
You do, but this must be the second best thing to win the flag yourself. Watching the boys play in the final.
Oh, no doubt. I wouldn't be here if I didn't love the club.
And what do you think of what's happened so far? We're coming to tea now.
Tea now, just gone to tea now. We're
what
one
can you
down.
tell me about the first session?
One down. It'd have to be a Melbourne Wanderers victory, I think, first session. Without a doubt, one down, and we'll be close to 100.
And I want you to look down the barrel just for a moment, if you will. And I want you to.
I love you all.
I want you to speak to the
I love
Wanderers.
you all.
I want you to speak to the Wanderers, and I want you to
I'll
tell
speak to
them
the
something.
Wanderers. I'll tell you what, the Wanderers, a bit of heart never goes astray. Pity the thirds didn't have it for a change, but we give it our best shot. That's all we can give.
Rossi, you're a great man of the club,
Exactly.
and it's great talking to you. Thank you for your time.
And I've known you since you've been a little whippersnipper. Come to the club.
And I've got.
Hey, you bloody beauty!
I've got one last question. Rossi, will you be back next year?
Two right, I'll be back.
Will you win a premiership next year?
Two right, we'll win. We'll win 4 premiership next
Great
year.
talking to you, mate. Have a
But
good day.
it's been a true honour to talk to you people.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you. We'll
Now
be back in
piss
just
off.
a few moments.
Now piss off, I'm trying to pull your woman.
It's not a real beer anyway, mate. That's
True. Rossi would be shattered with me. Fucking low carb shit.